So there's a strange little dead spot somewhere, somewhere right around Long Beach Airport. So anyway, so there's going to be it's going to be interesting in the 2020 election cycle, because as we were talking during the 2016 election cycle, God damn, that was a terrible mess. Anyway, so we're looking at, and this is really coming from the Libertarians, with Gary Johnson, you know, being a viable sort of conservative alternative to the Republican Party, and the Libertarians, they are gaining ground ideologically, if not numerically. So, you know, and there's the joke that anybody who calls himself a libertarian is really just a Republican that doesn't like the GOP. And I tend to believe that, knowing as many self-identified libertarians as I do. But interestingly enough, so during the entire debates, the election cycle, you know, you had the debates, and you had somebody like Gary Johnson and Jill Stein too. You know, I gotta credit where credit's due. Jill Stein and Gary Johnson both had, they were on all 50 ballots. They were on ballots in all 50 states, and there was kind of a bit of an uproar, not a big mainstream type uproar, but there was enough noise being made that a lot of people signed on to this idea that, you know, we need an alternative. We need somebody that's not one of the two bigs, one of the two main parties, you know, because it's a duopoly. It really is. And because the two major parties make the rules for access to the debate platform, the debate stage, because those two parties make the rules, they make the rules to make it more difficult for another party to get access. And that was a big sort of a, let's call it a scandal, but it you know, wasn't a scandal, a bit of an outcry during the 2016 cycle, where you had two candidates that were the most reviled candidates arguably in history, definitely in modern history. The most reviled candidates from either side, for either side. And you had those two, and then you had two very popular candidates. Well, one fairly popular third-party candidate, one moderately popular third-party candidate, and of course an independent who got, you know, cheated out of actually getting the nomination for the party, but who shall remain nameless. But we all know who we're talking about here. But the point is that the outcry was that, you know, you really have four candidates for this election. You really do. You have four major candidates that are on all 50 ballots. I don't know Epic McMullen, and maybe I should. So I'll have to look him up. But okay, yeah, I'll look him up when I'm able to actually get on the Twitter. Independent from Utah, I like it. Anybody who's an independent, and even Utahns. Utahan? Is that the correct demonym? I don't know. Anyway, demonym. Is it demonym? Yes, demonym. So where was it? Anyway, so you have four major candidates. You have four presidential candidates that are on ballots in all 50 states. So four candidates that actually have a mathematical chance of winning, and of winning the Electoral College. More than a mathematical chance. They have an actual chance because they're on all 50 ballots. They have an even chance. So the Libertarian Party, well, in the guise of a nonprofit that is, they're sort of they're not a super PAC, but they're a PAC for the Libertarian Party. They're called level the playing field. Level the playing field, as is the title of this episode, because I figured this would be the big story. Anyway, so Level the Playing Field sued the Federal Elections Commission, saying that they unfairly discriminated against both the Libertarian Party and the Green Party in accessing the debate stage. And a federal judge said, you know what, I think you're right. And a federal judge ruled in favor of Level the Playing Field as the plaintiff. And now the FEC actually has to defend their rules in court. Otherwise, they will lose their status as a. I think its status as a nonprofit, and they will also lose their status as that. There's some regulatory issue. I really have to go back and read this, because I did read this a couple of days ago, so it's not fresh in my mind. But I encourage all of you watching to go and look this up for yourselves, so that you can find this. Anyway, so Level the Playing Field has won this court battle. It's the first of many, but the FEC basically has to prove they have burden of proof now that they are not acting contrary to the best interests of the American people, that they are not colluding to restrict debate access to third parties. And they also run the risk of losing their status as a nonprofit. They also risk losing their status as the organizer of the debate system. They also, this is the best part, this is my favorite part, the Democrat and the Republican parties, the DNC and the GOP both, if the FEC loses this court battle, if the FEC loses this decision, this is my favorite part. The debates that were sponsored by the FEC, so the debates on Fox, the debates on the CNN, would count as political contributions to those two parties, and thus would be subject to campaign finance laws, and thus would find both parties in violation of campaign finance laws, and thus be subject to sanctions in the 2020 election. My God, it'll be beautiful. That is like my favorite news, like, since the election, pretty much. This is the best possible thing that can happen. And I love the fact that the FEC, or excuse me, that Level the Playing Field, they weren't acting just on behalf of the Libertarian Party. Yes, the Libertarian Party will benefit from this, but they were acting on behalf of all third parties, because they specifically named the Green Party. They specifically named Jill Stein in the complaint, and I thought that was rather fair of them, and I thought that was rather classy of them, and I thought that's a great thing, and it is my heartfelt opinion that the more voices we have in our political system, the more individual voices that we have coming forward, the more that we talk to each other and that we debate each other, and that we exchange ideas, the more that we do this, the better off this country is going to be. We all need to get together. We all need to understand each other. You know, it really is. It's all about coming together and making America, for, you know, to turn a phrase, making America great, period. This country is pretty great already. It was before November. I don't know if it's going to continue to be, but, you know, we the people make this country great, and we the people from all different backgrounds coming together and listening to each other, talking to each other, not shutting each other out. That is what makes this country great. And it's not walls, and it's not tariffs, and it's not any of this trash that we're hearing on cable news, and we're hearing out of hearing out of Washington so much. And it's not the trash that we so often hear out of our state governments. It really is. It is us coming together and making it happen at the ground level, the grassroots level. So, and I really am. You know, I agree wholeheartedly that, you know, that if you're on all 50, even if you're not on all 50 state ballots, if you're on enough ballots that you have a mathematical chance of getting the required votes, the required electoral college votes, to win the presidency, you better damn well be up on that stage, and they better damn well let you up on that stage, because that, I mean, it is the opinion of this report. To turn a phrase from Mr. Cronkite, it is the opinion of this reporter that any efforts, any rules that are set in place to restrict access to the public forum for anyone who actually has a mathematical chance of making a position, that is to achieve that position, to winning that position, they should not be denied access to that public forum. We do have a primary system in place in order to get a figurehead to get a leader to a forum, or to the spotlight, to the forum. We have seen that system is rather flawed. I think that we need more transparency there. We absolutely need more transparency there, but one must remember that political parties are technically private entities, and they can set their own rules, and they can do whatever the hell they want to. There was a story, there used to be the old joke that the Libertarians, the Libertarian Convention, didn't consist of open voting like other conventions do. It consisted of party heads from all the different state parties that came together, and they walked around and they talked to each other, and they just had a big party, and they all carried poker chips. Everybody had a poker chip, and as they walked around and as they talked to other people at the convention, because there's only 50 people at this convention now, only 50 people at this convention, you know, roughly. As they're walking around and talking to everybody else, if somebody likes somebody else's platform, if they think that they would be a good candidate for nomination, then they would give them their poker chip, and the person with the most poker chips at the end of the day won, and they got the nomination. And that's sort of the story. I don't know how true that is of the early Libertarian Party conventions, and I think that's kind of a neat idea. Is that, you know, you've got people that are milling around, and they're actually talking to each other, and they're actually exchanging ideas. It's not a big show and tell. It's not a big rah rah rah, let's go party. You know, it's not a big to-do like the Democrats or like the Republicans are. You know, big nationally televised, coming to you live from Fox News, 24-hour coverage of the GOP convention. Look at that shit. It's all shit. It's all pan and circuses, man. Panem and circuses. But yeah, I think the more transparent we have things, the more exchanging ideas we have, and I really think that's the better off we're going to be as a country, and as a people in general. Let's see, what do I have here? Let's see if I have anything else that's interesting. Collaboration, yeah, so that kind of leads me, that's a nice little segue, right? We're all coming together and, you know, singing Kumbaya and everything. So this is an interesting story. As you probably know, I run a YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Airborne Surfer. You should go check it out and subscribe, and make sure you click the little bell. That way you actually get notified when there's a new video, because YouTube keeps changing the rules on everybody, and everybody's kind of pissed off about it. But anyway, so as you probably know, I do run a YouTube channel. In fact, these videos actually go up on my YouTube channel after they're aired on Periscope. But so I do a lot of how-to videos, I do a lot of tech videos, and one of my very popular videos is disassembling a Bluetooth speaker, disassembling a particular brand of Bluetooth speaker, and I get a lot of feedback on a lot of questions, you know. And this one person, you know, they said, well, there goes my dream of customizing this thing, and it piqued my interest. I said, you know, well, why would you do that? You know, well, it just looks too hard. Yeah, but you have, and this is sort of, you know, imagine, if you will, this is a conversation going back in a comment field underneath a YouTube video. So this person says, you know, well, it just looks too difficult. And I said, you know, have a little faith. You see what tools you need. You know what tools you need. Here's a link to the tools that you need, so you know what to get. And you have a guide. You're literally watching somebody do it, and you can follow along. You know, be bold. Have a little faith in yourself. You know, stand up and actually do this. You know, try it. You know, if it's something you want to do, try it. And the person comes back to me and says, well, but I'm like 11 years old. And, you know, seriously, kid. And, you know, you kind of had this, like, smart ass, you know, where you make the comment and then you put a bunch of carrot returns in there, you know, a bunch of line breaks, and then, you know, where, you know, you have to actually click where it says read more, and he says, well, that's a problem, isn't it? And I responded, I said, no, dude, you're 11 years old. When I was 11 years old, I was taking stereos apart, and I was repairing old stereos, and I didn't have a YouTube guide to do that. I didn't have anybody showing me how to do that. I shocked the shit out of myself on more occasions than I care to remember, or possibly even can remember. But and maybe that explains a few things. But, you know, I said, look, you know, you have a guide. You have all these tools that are available to you that were never available to me. Use them. By God, use them. You know, and show me a video when you're done. You know, make a video and post it. Link me when you're done. Yeah, I want to see this. And I kind of did it a little tongue-in-cheek. You know, I said a little tongue-in-cheek. I mocked him a little bit, you know, in the way that he had put all those carrot returns in there. I did the same sort of thing. I said, you know, and I said, but if you're scared, ... and, you know, put in the carrot returns, and then of course, you know, you have to click. And I said, go to the thrift shop and buy one. They're all over the thrift shops. Go buy one and take it apart yourself. You know, if you don't want to mess around with the expensive one, go get a cheap one. And it works the same way. They're all the same on the inside. And I hope I got through the kid. You know, I really do. But it brought to mind this idea of collaboration, and in YouTube, collaboration is kind of everything. You know, the Creator Academy, they're all pushing collab, and you know, that's a good thing. That's a really good thing, and I am, you know, I'm working on that. I'm working on that kind of stuff, and I want to collaborate with as many other creators as I can. You know, I've actually been in talks. About doing a film with another creator that I know, a good friend of mine, that talking about doing a film with him. I actually got back in touch with a very old friend of mine, good guy, good dude. I haven't talked to him in years, and got back in touch with him. And, you know, he and I, he's a composer. And he and I have been, you know, kind of talking about stuff just in general, you know, just catching up. And I'm like, hey, you know, I'm doing YouTube videos now, you know, and I'd love it if you're game for it. I'd love to, you know, to use your music. If you want to write something, or if you have something that you want to let me license from you, you know, I don't have any capital, but I can certainly credit you. And if I do ever have capital, I can certainly pay a residual or a royalty, or, you know, I'm happy to do that. And he's like, no, see, I'd love to, you know, he just wants to get out there. And I'm like, look, yeah, and that's cool. I understand you can't pay the mortgage on exposures. I'm hip to that. I'm cool with that. I totally understand if people are like that. I'm not the guy who wants to hire a band for a wedding or whatever, and then hey, you're gonna get paid at exposure, man. It's like, no, that's not how that works. I want everybody to be upfront and honest and know what's up. And if somebody is volunteering their work, I'm more than happy to credit them. I'm more than happy to do what I can to help promote them, actively promote them, because I'm in the same boat. I'm doing what I can to promote myself, and I like that mutual level of collaboration. And so I feel like a lot of times we forget that, especially getting into when you start getting into the arts and you start getting into production. Everybody wants you to do a little bit for free. Everybody wants you to do this for free. Everybody wants you to solicit people for doing it for free. And I don't want to do that. I want to find people who are okay with it already, and then say, hey, if you would like to, we could work on this thing. And that's sort of my take on it. Is I don't want to force people into a position where they're working for an exposure or whatever. But I want to work with people that are at that same level as me. I'm not going to go to Grant Thompson. I'm not going to go to Grant Thompson and say, hey Grant, you should feature my video on your channel. No, he's not going to do it, for one. Stuff like, for two, if you don't pay him, he's not going to do it. I'm not going to go to AVE and say, hey, Skookum Choocher, you ought to, put my video up on your channel there. He's not going to do it. He's going to say, right the fuck off. Or fuck right up, whatever he says. I can't brain today. Anyway, you have to know where you are. You have to know where you stand, and you have to be willing, especially if you're in an environment like YouTube or like SoundCloud, any of these environments where people are sort of creating from the ground up. You really do have to be willing to offer your help and your assistance. And I'm more than willing to help out. If people want to volunteer their music for bed music on a video, or for incidental music, or for whatever, I'm more than willing to work with them on a license, whether it's a paid license or it's a free license, depending on what's going on. I want to pay people. I do want people to get paid for their work. I absolutely want to get paid for. I want people to get paid for their work. I want to get paid for my work. Which kind of brings us all roundabout back to this whole, taking pictures of stuff thing. Don't expect somebody who's not doing this as their main line to go, hand over fist to work for you, to bend over backwards to get this one shot that you want, without giving them any kind of clear indication of where you want it. So that's really just my 2 cents. I'm all about the collaboration, and I want to see more of it. And it's just about that time that I need to sign off. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for being here. And we will see you next time. I'm here Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, around about 5 o'clock Pacific time. You can follow me at Airborne Surfer on Twitter, and as well youtube.com/The Airborne Surfer. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and don't forget to click the little bell thing so you can actually get notified when there's a new video, so you'll actually see it. Fantastic. And as always, there's more stuff at airbornesurfer.com. And you can get to everything from airbornesurfer.com, and please go there. You can subscribe there to the RSS feed, or you can subscribe to an email. Happy to have you. Happy to know that you're out there, and thank you so much for watching, and tally ho, y'all.